Imagine you're lying on a wooden table in a cold gym room. There's no medicine in your body, no needle, no gas, nothing at all. 4 men hold your arms and legs down, not to help you, to keep you from moving when the pain hits. Because in seconds, someone is going to cut into your skin, and you're going to feel every single moment of it. There's no anesthesia, nothing to numb the pain, nothing to dull your senses. The only thing standing between you and total suffering is how fast the surgeon can work. This isn't a scene from a horror movie. This was real surgery. Less than 200 years ago, this was the only option anyone had. And the question almost nobody asks is, how did people actually survive this? We assume pain has always had a solution, that some remedy, some plant, some trick always existed to take it away. That assumption is wrong. For nearly all of human history, surgery meant one thing and one thing only: total, unfiltered, uninterrupted pain. There was no such thing as knocking yourself out on purpose. No reliable sedation. No safety net of any kind. What existed was a fully conscious human being, in absolute panic, feeling a blade slice through their own flesh in real time. And the most disturbing part isn't even the pain itself. It's what that pain forced surgeons to do. Doctors had no time for careful, precise work. They had seconds, not minutes, because every extra second meant another second of agony for the patient, and a very real chance that he would die from pure shock before the surgery even finished. Here's something most people never consider. The best surgeon in the world back then wasn't the most skilled. He was the fastest. There are documented cases of surgeons amputating an entire leg in under 2 minutes from the first cut to the final stitch. That speed wasn't about genius. It was survival math. 1 extra minute on the table could be the difference between life and death, all because of pain alone. Now put yourself in the waiting room. You're surrounded by other people about to go through the exact same thing. Some are screaming uncontrollably. Others sit in complete silence, frozen, unable to process what's coming. You can hear every scream from the person being operated on right now on the other side of a thin wall. And you know, with total certainty, that you're next. There's no way to escape it. Because refusing surgery wasn't really a choice either. The alternative was usually a slower, more horrifying death, infection, gangrene, a wound that simply never stopped rotting from the inside out. So people made an impossible choice: fast, brutal pain now, or a slow, agonizing death later. But even saying yes to surgery didn't guarantee survival. Without anesthesia, the human body reacts violently to extreme pain. The heart races uncontrollably. Blood pressure crashes. The whole nervous system goes into a state of shock. Countless patients died right there on the table, not from the surgery itself, but from their own body's reaction to unbearable pain. Doctors knew this was happening, and it created a strange, desperate obsession. Find anything, absolutely anything, that could dull the pain even slightly. They tried massive amounts of alcohol, hoping to numb the patient into a stupor. They tried opium, with wildly inconsistent results depending on the dose. Some even tried knocking patients unconscious with a blow to the head, hoping they'd stay out long enough for the cut to happen. A disturbing number of these so-called solutions ended up killing the patient before the actual surgery had even begun, and for century after century, nothing truly solved the problem. Surgery remained one of the most terrifying experiences a human being could go through. It wasn't until the early 1800s that someone noticed something strange happening at parties, of all places. Amateur chemists were inhaling a gas called nitrous oxide, what we now call laughing gas, purely for entertainment. People under its effects would laugh uncontrollably, stumble around, fall, and hurt themselves without even noticing. A dentist named Horace witnessed this firsthand. Someone got seriously injured during one of these demonstrations and didn't react to the pain at all. That moment planted an idea in his head. What if this gas could be used to block pain during surgery? His first public demonstration, however, was a complete disaster. The gas wasn't administered properly, the patient screamed in pain anyway, and the entire crowd mocked the idea as a failure. For a moment, it seemed like the dream of painless surgery had died right there in that room. But another man, William Morton, refused to let the idea go. He started experimenting with a different substance entirely, ether. In 1846, standing in front of a room full of deeply skeptical doctors, he administered this gas to a patient and then removed a tumor from the man's neck. The patient didn't scream. He didn't flinch. He didn't move at all. He felt absolutely nothing. The room went completely silent. For the first time in recorded history, a human being had gone through real surgery without feeling a single moment of pain. But here's the part almost nobody tells you. This discovery didn't fix everything overnight. It immediately created a brand new problem. Before anesthesia, pain itself acted as an accidental safety limit. It forced surgeons to move fast and keep procedures short. Once that pain disappeared, that limit disappeared with it. Surgeons could now spend as much time as they wanted working inside a human body. That meant longer surgeries, deeper, more complex surgeries. But it also meant far more exposure to a danger nobody had figured out yet: infection. It would take several more decades, and the discovery that invisible microorganisms were responsible for deadly infections, before modern surgery as we know it was truly born. In other words, anesthesia wasn't the end of human suffering inside the operating room. It was only the first piece of a much larger, hidden puzzle. And that reveals something deeply unsettling about how human progress actually works. Every solution we discover doesn't erase the original problem completely. It simply uncovers the next problem that was hiding right behind it. It happened with fire. It happened with the invention of the wheel. It happened with medicine itself. Humanity has never really solved its biggest problems all at once. It moves forward by trading one visible danger for another, quieter one, waiting patiently to be discovered. Now picture that wooden table one more time. Picture those hands holding your arms and legs in place. Picture that blade slowly coming toward your skin. Today, you walk into an operating room, count down from 10, and wake up hours later, feeling absolutely nothing. That is not normal. That is not something to take for granted. That is a recent miracle, paid for with centuries of unimaginable pain, countless failed experiments, and a handful of people who simply refused to accept that suffering was unavoidable. The next time you get a shot and barely feel it, or sit through a minor procedure without even flinching, remember something important. Just over 150 years ago, that exact experience would have been considered an impossible miracle by every single human being on Earth. And the pain that you will, in all likelihood, never have to fully experience, was once the guaranteed, unavoidable fate of every single person who ever needed surgery to stay alive.